Why INFJs let people underestimate them. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt the weight of being overlooked, like your presence didn't quite register with others, even though your mind and heart carried volumes of unspoken depth? If you're an INFJ, you probably know that feeling intimately. The paradox of being the rarest personality type yet the most misunderstood is not just frustrating, it's emotionally exhausting. You may have spent a lifetime being underestimated, not because you lack strength, intelligence, or capability, but because you've chosen, often unconsciously, to let people see only a fraction of who you are. In this video, we're diving deep into why INFJs let people underestimate them. This isn't just about passive behavior or lack of self-worth. There's a labyrinth of psychological, emotional, and intuitive reasons behind this tendency. 1. INFJs disguise their depth as a defense mechanism. INFJs are naturally deep thinkers. Their inner world is vibrant, intense, and filled with abstract meanings, intuitive patterns, and emotional insights. But here's the twist: most INFJs don't lead with this depth. They downplay it. They keep their complex thoughts tucked away like a secret diary, showing only what's necessary on the surface. Why? Because experience has taught them that revealing too much too soon often leads to alienation. From a young age, many INFJs learned that their intense emotional insights or spiritual observations were met with confusion, mockery, or dismissal. Imagine being a 10-year-old who talks about the emotional dynamics of your parents' marriage while other kids talk about cartoons. That kind of misunderstanding cuts deep and silently trains the INFJ to withhold their truth. So, INFJs adopt a kind of camouflage. They engage in small talk even though it drains them. They nod along even when they internally disagree. They simplify their vocabulary, mute their intuition, and let others believe they're just quietly agreeable. This self-preservation becomes second nature. INFJs must give themselves permission to reveal more of their true nature, but selectively. Begin by identifying one safe person or space where you can be your authentic self without fear of rejection. Gradually, expand that circle. 2. INFJs value observation over recognition. Another reason INFJs are underestimated is because they are observers, not performers. In a world that rewards extroverted charisma, rapid responses, and visible ambition, INFJs quietly gather data. They absorb energy. They study people. And most of the time, they don't interrupt, they reflect. This quietude is often misread as disinterest or passivity. But underneath that silence is a mind processing everything in 4K clarity. INFJs see the subtle micro-expressions that give away someone's real feelings. They notice the contradictions in someone's words and tone. They piece together timelines of events that others don't even register. But because they rarely broadcast their insights unless asked, people assume they're not paying attention or not capable of deep analysis. An INFJ in a corporate meeting might say little during the entire session, but then offer one perfectly timed observation at the end that sums up everything and offers a path forward. People often react with surprise. "Oh, I didn't realize you were even following that." It's okay to stay in your natural state of observation, but consider occasionally sharing your insights in small, meaningful doses. Let your voice be heard before others make up a story about your silence. 3. INFJs have a complex relationship with validation. INFJs are paradoxical when it comes to validation. On one hand, they care deeply about being understood. On the other, they distrust external praise. Many INFJs have a subconscious belief that if people truly knew them, they wouldn't admire them. This creates a cycle of self-sabotage. When someone compliments them, they may deflect or downplay it, reinforcing the image that they're less capable or impressive than they actually are. This stems from a fear of being exposed. INFJs know they have flaws, dark thoughts, inner contradictions, emotional fragility, and they worry that admiration rests on an illusion. So, they let others underestimate them, because it feels safer than being put on a pedestal only to fall. Imagine being praised for your kindness, but internally battling anger or resentment you never show. That dissonance makes validation feel hollow. So, INFJs retreat and let the world believe they're simpler than they are. Start receiving compliments with simple acknowledgement. Practice saying, "Thank you, I appreciate that." You don't have to explain, deflect, or prove anything. 4. INFJs fear the burden of expectations. When you're recognized as capable or exceptional, people expect more from you. They lean on you. They ask for advice, emotional support, leadership. And INFJs, being natural empaths, often feel compelled to help. But the more they're seen, the more pressure they feel to live up to others' needs. So, what do? They dim their light. They act unsure when they know the answer. They pretend they need more time or information when their intuition already gave them clarity. They act small to avoid becoming someone's emotional crutch. An INFJ friend may give incredibly intuitive relationship advice once, but when others start flocking to them constantly, they withdraw. They don't want to become a guru, they want balance. Set boundaries around your energy. You can be insightful and helpful without being consumed. Practice saying, "Let me get back to you on that," or "I don't have the energy to go deep today." It's okay to be brilliant and unavailable at the same time. 5. INFJs are masters of strategic invisibility. Sometimes, INFJs choose to be underestimated because it gives them freedom. When people don't expect much from you, they don't micromanage you. They don't interfere. They leave you alone, and for INFJs, who crave solitude, that's a gift. Being underestimated allows INFJs to observe without being pressured, to work in the background, and to influence indirectly. It's not about low self-worth, it's about strategic control. INFJs often influence outcomes from behind the scenes and are content not receiving credit. An INFJ in a workplace may orchestrate a team project's success but let others take the spotlight. They don't mind, because their satisfaction comes from knowing they made it happen. If you use strategic invisibility, be clear about your reasons. Practice stepping forward when your message needs a voice. 6. INFJs internalize rejection deeply and permanently. Unlike other types who may brush off a harsh word or critical comment, INFJs absorb emotional wounds like ink into water. Rejection, even once, often leads to long-term protective behavior. They begin to associate visibility with vulnerability, and vulnerability with pain. So, they stay quiet. They lower their profile. They let others think they're less capable so they won't become a target. They build emotional armor by dimming their glow. Picture a teenage INFJ who shares a passionate idea in class and gets laughed at. That one experience can shape how they speak, or don't speak, for the next decade. Revisit those old emotional wounds with compassion. Write a letter to your younger self, forgiving them for being vulnerable. Then, start creating new experiences where visibility brings reward, not pain. 7. INFJs see potential in everyone, except themselves. INFJs are incredible at seeing the best in others. They can sense someone's hidden talents, underlying pain, and untapped potential with uncanny clarity. But when it comes to themselves, that same intuitive vision gets cloudy. Instead of seeing their gifts, they see their flaws. Instead of seeing progress, they see gaps. Because they focus so much on helping others grow, they often forget to nurture their own development. This self-neglect reinforces the narrative that they aren't particularly extraordinary, which others pick up on and mirror back. An INFJ might coach a friend into a successful career transition but remain stuck in a job they hate because they can't see their own worth. Start applying your intuitive gift inward. Ask yourself, if I were someone I cared deeply about, what would I say to me right now? Start building the same belief in yourself that you give so freely to others. INFJs, letting people underestimate you might have felt like protection. A way to stay safe, hidden, and free from the world's harsh glare. But you weren't born to remain unseen. Your depth is not a burden, it's a beacon. Your silence is powerful, but your voice is needed. And your invisibility might feel strategic, but your presence is transformative. This is your moment to reclaim your worth. To stop folding into small shapes to fit into others' expectations. To let people see who you truly are, not just who you think they can handle. The world may never fully understand you, but that doesn't mean you have to keep yourself hidden. So tell me, INFJ, are you ready to stop letting people underestimate you? If this resonated with you, drop a comment below sharing a time when you felt underestimated and how you're learning to step into your power. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so we can keep walking this journey together. You are rare. You are real. And you are more powerful than they think. Stay safe, and see you in the next one.